Hello there, and welcome into Chris Riviedzo's final project for his broadcasting class. I'm Nate Babcock alongside Harry Chokmakian and Zach Osborne. We got a little bit of men's basketball and men's soccer action here today, but we're going to start it off with men's basketball. A fun start to last season, opening 15-3. A little bit of a slower finish to the season. What'd you see there?
I mean, I'm less worried about the end of the season last year, more excited about this season. We have the first captain under Coach Dunn, Jaden Collin Roberts. That tells you everything you need to know about the coach and the player connection, and I'm really excited to see what those guys do with it.
It's a good take. Just how quickly everything went downhill last year still doesn't sit right with me, but hopefully we can recover from Pasquarelli transferring, Price going down, and have a good rebound this year.
Yup, Price still playing for the Foxes, but over in Switzerland, and now Josh Pasquarelli playing for Colorado State. But it was such an up and down season. The entire year, you thought they were at the top of the basketball world, maybe making their first NCAA tournament appearance since 1987. It was in the thought of all the back of our minds. But Harry, how did it happen?
I mean, you mentioned 15-3. That does not happen by accident. Winning is hard to come by, especially at the high level that Marist plays at. They had insane thrillers all year long. Richmond and Army. The Army one obviously going into overtime. Big-time shots from all the players. It just comes down to how you finish the season. Despite winning against Siena in the Battle of I-87, we lost Jackson Price with his foot injury. That threw him on the sideline for about 8 games. The next time Merritt's touched the court, we found him on the wrong end of a Sports Center top 10 play highlight. I remember exactly where I was when this happened. Heartbreaking for me as well as for the team. They went on to close the season 4-6. All 4 of those games came by a combined 13 points. Losing to Sacred Heart, St. Peter's, and Merrimack. And then here you see Mount St. Mary's losing to them twice in the season, including by 4 in the MAC quarterfinals.
It all started in their game against Xavier. There it is. Marist men's basketball kicked off their season against Xavier. Once again, their first biggie matchup since 2013. However you want it, Rajon Blackwell's got it as he would knock down back-to-back three-pointers for his first 2 buckets in his Marist debut. The grad student out of McNeese State was the leading scorer for either side with 24, hitting difficult shots all over the floor, but this was just the start of it. Xavier would respond, going on a 17-3 run to close the first half, as Xavier's all right knocked down timely 3 after timely 3. Maybe one of the best names in college basketball as he hit another corner 3 as Xavier would open the second half on an 8-0 run. He finished with 14 points and 3 assists. But Marist would mount a comeback off the hot hand of who else other than Rajon Blackwell. The and 1-3. It's only November, but it feels like March the way Rajon Blackwell plays basketball. 4:40 to go. Marist down 6. Out in transition is Collins Roberts. Up he throws and down goes Elijah Lewis. Momentum was headed in the Red Foxes' favor as they would lead by as much as 1 before Xavier would wither the Red Foxes' storm as Jovan Milicevic hits the calm, composed, top-of-the-key 3. Marist was unable to respond, falling to Xavier 62-66, unable to mount the 20-point comeback.
Marist back again, this time in the Ivy League. Early on, we have Justin Menard. Marist is up 5, but he makes it 7. And Dartmouth goes all the way back pretty quickly, getting up a quick 3. Menard finds the ball one more time, dribbles up the court. You know what he's going to do. Feed the hot hand. He pulls up. 3 more points on the board. That's a 5-point run for Menard alone. He had 10 points, and Dartmouth went 0 for 8 on threes in the second half. The other name, we just heard it a lot, Rajon Blackwell, getting 2 points in the paint, nice and easy. Yeah, you said 24 points against the Big East opponent. He kept it going this game with 16. This time, create some space, a little quick dribble move, 3 more points, extending the Marist lead past 10 points, up to 13. And then one more time for the kid, into which has seemed to be his signature move, a little step in, pull-up jumper. The Marist Red Foxes ended up winning this game by 19 points.
Yep, a 19-point victory coming off a 4-point loss to Big East. A fun start to the season. Justin Menard was the player of the game in that Dartmouth matchup. He's almost had a triple-double. He's capable of scoring, once again, from anywhere on the floor. You have multiple three-level scores all over this Marist lineup. And I had an opportunity to talk to that three-level scorer, the player of the game versus Dartmouth, Justin Menard. And here's what he had to say about that transition from the Xavier game into their second matchup against Dartmouth.
I mean, I'm a big competitor, and I love basketball. So after that first game, I was definitely, first of all, upset that we got the loss, but two, just like I was ready to go. I couldn't wait for that next game just to bounce back. And that week, I was really just in prayer a lot, just locked in and practice. They were really, really helping me, just like I said, with everything. And talked to Don, just gave me all the confidence to go and play my game and to not force it. And that's what I did versus Dartmouth. So
yeah. But let's talk men's soccer. They were ranked 17th in the nation at one point, guys. Like, this was a real, true and through, amazing start to the season for men's soccer.
I mean, it was just a shame when you really look at it. They had some great performances, some not very good ones. I feel like coming into this big season with a lot of expectation definitely didn't help the situation, but let's see what they can do next year.
It all ended up coming down to the matchup against Manhattan. Going up against a MAC opponent, you need basically a win in game for Marist. We had the pleasure of speaking to junior midfielder Kyle Evans about the importance of this Manhattan matchup, and here's what he had to say.
Going into that Manhattan game, we knew it was one of those moments where we could determine our own playoff destiny. And, going into that the whole week, that was like a early playoff game for us. And instead of relying on, other teams to win for us, we just had to go in give everything. And, we did for 90 minutes, and then we gave up a goal in the last 20 seconds. So it was really hard to handle that.
What happened there, Zach?
It was an aggressive game all throughout. Showing Manhattan, William Fagerberg was coming in at top of his game. Let's get right into this though. Marist with a chance with solidifying a playoff. Kyle Evans back of the net, assisted by Aaron Eluge. That's Kyle Evans' sixth goal of the game. It is 1-0 to Marist. The rest of the first half was all Marist ball, putting pressure on the defense, getting it up the field. Marist had an advantage with 5 corner kicks, 12-2 on shots. Goal Marist led. It was the end of the first half. Straight into the second with 12 minutes left. Manhattan is putting the pressure on. They had 6 goals in that 45 minutes. But with 24 seconds remaining, Manhattan's down 1. They get a free kick in the corner. Paul Abbiatello, corner kick to find Reinhardt for the tie. Marist and Manhattan end up tying, and Marist's chances at a run come to an end.
Yup, and it was quite the matchup here. You see the corner kick sent in final seconds of the game. It's going to bounce around before Manhattan finds the back of the net, tying the game. And obviously not the finish that you want to a Marist season where you're ranked 17th, again 17th in the nation as a Marist soccer team, the highest they've ever been ranked. But you have some key players leaving. Graduate goalie Jamie Lowell spent 2 years here and out of Maryland, was a key player as they got ranked into the 17th spot in the nation. And you also lose Johnny Salguero, a key contributor to this team, and senior Skylar Cunha. But you're bringing back a lot of their young core. You have Ariane Ulai, you have Heis Verhoel, you have Kyle Evans, there's many more coming back to this team. Where do you guys want to see them improve upon from this last season, where they get a lot of real in-game big scenario experience as they bring back the majority of their core? Where do you want to see them go into next season?
I mean, it's never good. Obviously, you start the season they had. We just talked about basketball, the collapse last year, soccer this year, the same thing. But with all the young players we have, there's only one thing you can do, and that's just build off from that. It leaves a sour taste in their mouth. They're going to think about this. They're going to remember what it was like being 17th in the nation, getting that notification, coming after practice, seeing where you are with all these big-name schools. So I'm really excited to see how they take that into the offseason, turn it around, and just keep the momentum moving. There's only one way to go, and that's forward.
Yep, they need to keep the competitiveness on, keep leads. They have to keep their teamwork coming together, and I think they're gonna have a good next season.
Yep, and I totally agree, Zach. They had all the key pieces of a great team, just to not put the finishing bow on it. All right, and that is going to do it. I'm Nate Babcock alongside Harry Chokmakian and Zach Osborne for Chris Riviezzo's final project for his broadcasting class. Thank you to Chris Riviezzo.